in our body will turn white. Our faces will turn grey. We will disintegrate within ourselves. We will become destroyed within ourselves about the reality of Qiyamah. That is how dreadful it is. That particular day, we've been instructed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam before you sleep, one of the du'as to pray, one of his traditions, Allahumma qini adhabaka yawma tub'athu ibadaka. Oh Allah, on that day of punishment, wake me up amongst those people who are your true slaves. Why? Why? Because if you're a true slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then inshallah there is no punishment for you. Rather, live this life full of mercy. Be merciful upon to yourself, be generous upon yourself, where you leave all of those things which detach you from the deen. Leave those things which distract you from the reality of your existence. Do not be baffled, ayyuhal ikhwatul muslimun. Do not be baffled about the world around you. This beauty of the world that we see. Yes, as we were walking in, me and the brother with me, and I saw this massive building, and I was staring at it, and he said to me, "You're looking at that building as if it's the first time you've walked into England." I said, "We might as well be, bruv. I've not seen a building like that before." So how's that building? That's what it's called, massive. But even that's going to go out. What use is it? It's going to go. It's here for a reason, but for a limited time. For a limited time. This beauty that we see around us, and we often get baffled and we become heedless. We go into a state of ghafla. Our mind gets clouded by the so-called beauty of the world. And now I'm bringing myself to, mashallah, your high level as a student, living away from home. Mummy, daddy not there, let alone mama, chacha, and uncle and auntie. No one there to check up on me, bro. I can sleep 4 o'clock in the morning and bed 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Miss all my lectures, but who cares? I can do these things. I can stay out all night partying. I can stay out all night chilling with the boys, rolling. Yeah? Rolling. I can do that. Who cares? You know what I mean? I can knock back what I want, you know what I mean? I can do these things. And it's not only the brothers, my sisters. My sisters, you can be bouncing down the street. Nobody cares. Astaghfirullah, this is the reality of our situation. This is what we do. And brothers will be checking out. You're not supposed to be doing. And sisters will also be checking out. And you know what the weirdest thing is? When after we've checked out, I was sitting in a restaurant last night with some of the students in Leicester, and we do this. After we've had a lesson, we go for a lunch. And there was a table behind us. And you can hear some sisters, subhanallah, did you see that brother? Sister, you're looking at someone you're not supposed to be looking at, then you say subhanallah. Allah be praised. This will all go. This will be destroyed. Rather, be amongst those people. When the Prophet of Allah started to talk about the day of Qiyamah, when he started to say these things about the day of Qiyamah, about the signs of Qiyamah, one of the things that he said, alayhi salatu taslim, is that on that particular day, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls forth the children of Adam, all of mankind, the children of Adam, when he calls forth the children of Adam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his oneness will say to Adam alayhi salam, bring forth the dwellers of hellfire. Adam alayhi salam will say, labbaik Allahumma rabbana wa sa'daik. I am present, my Lord, and at your service, at your obedience. He will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how many are going to go into hellfire and how many are going into Jannah? The voice will call out, from every 1,999 are going to hellfire and one is going to Jannah. Think Think, أيها الأخوة المسلمون, when the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this, Sayyidina Jabir radiyallahu anhu, he said, our faces became ashen. They became grey with worry. The Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then said, referring to the ayah of the Quran, that upon that day, every woman who carries a child will drop her load. And the hair on the head of that child will turn grey. And men and women will be running around in a drunken riot. Rather, they will not be intoxicated with khamar, with alcohol, but they will be in a state of confusion and fear. Then the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave ease. He then said that 999 will be from the people of Yajuj and Majuj, and one will be from amongst you. Allahu Akbar. Allah. Just think about this, ayyuhal Muslimun. The mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For any individual who had an atom's worth of faith in their heart, they will see the reward for it. And any individual who had an atom's worth of badness in their heart, they will reap. They will reap. You're going to reap it. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. You're going to get punished for it. Now think, ayyuhal Muslimun, do you want to be amongst those people who stand under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There will be 7 groups of people standing under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and on that day there is no shade except the shade of Allah. There is no shade except the shade of Allah. One of the groups of people who stand under that shade are those individuals who in their youth, they held on to the deen. They held on to the deen. On the day of Qiyamah, you're going to find shade under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Rabbi, Allah make us amongst those people.
Ameen.
Stand under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Ameen.
And are guarded by His mercy subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we want to be amongst those people who stand under the shade of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't worry about the film 2012. Rather worry about that day about which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stated, إِذَا زُلْزِلَتِ الْأَرْضُ زِلْزَالَهَا وَأَخْرَجَتِ الْأَرْضُ أَثْقَالَهَا وَقَالَ الْإِنسَانُ مَا لَهَا يَوْمَئِذٍ تُحَدِّثُ أَخْبَارَهَا بِأَنَّ رَبَّكَ أَوْحَى لَهَا. When the world loses itself and it folds in within itself, the zalzala starts to come about. And the world throws out everything that it had within it. And mankind is in a state of loss and confusion and starts asking, what is this? Then it will be said, this is the day that you were told about. You were warned about this particular day. You were told about this day. It will happen. We have 10 major signs of Qiyam. And we all worry about these signs, and we're all very interested in these signs. But I think, how about death? You may not even be alive when these signs come to pass. You know, the Dabbatul Ard, the creature of the earth, and the 3 major earthquakes that are going to take place, one in the east and one in the west, and one in the Dawlatul Arabiya in the Arabian Peninsula, and they will be as such that part of the ground will be swallowed, and thousands will lose their lives. The 3 earthquakes that will happen. Think. The 3 earthquakes, one in the east, one in the west. In one hand stroke, thousands will lose their lives. The earth is going to swallow itself. One part of the earth will swallow itself. It will be as if it never existed. These are the 3 amongst the 10 signs. The Dabbatul Ard, the creature of the earth. To look at that creature, from head to toe, it will be covered with hair. One cannot distinguish where the head is and where the back is. It all looks the same. But that creature will be carrying the ring of Sulaiman alayhi salam and the staff of Musa alayhi salam. We have the dukhan, the smoke, a fire which is going to burn, and the smoke is going to overtake a large part of the earth, and that smoke is going to be ignited, according to one narration, in Rub al-Khali, the empty Qurtaniyya Yam. Another sign we have is the emergence of the false Messiah, the Dajjal. The Dajjal. Up here, let me make one clarification. You know, I read somewhere that, and you can see this on the internet, and there's books about it and so on, and even some shuyukh have spoken